Today is our 40th anniversary of the first win for Hendrick Motorsports at Martinsville Speedway. So all of Hendrick Motorsports has been invited to go to the race, so we're gonna have a big party.
It is so exciting to be a part of today, just to be here. I have my family and some friends to go up to the race.
Mr. H and Mrs. H said, I want to bring our folks up to Martinsville to be able to recognize the amazing 40 years and to see all of you get together here today. It's what means the world to us. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being here.
I won the first race. That guy gave you a job.
It's good to see you, and this is special.
It is. Race fans, help us get this race started on 3. 1, 2, 3. Drivers, start your engines!
Here comes Gordon. He's got the inside. They touch once. Drag race. Jimmy Johnson. Jeff Gordon looking for a storybook ending. Gordon wins at Martinsville. Chase Elliott is a NASCAR Cup Series champion. Comeback. Kyle Larson continues the Hendrick dominance.
Junior always had the coolest helmets, you know, he had gulls and fangs and stuff like that.
This is probably a 90s helmet. Jeff's DuPont stuff was always popping.
Terry Labonte be my teammate, battling him for a championship in '96.
I've spent most of my childhood watching this dominance and recognizing these helmets.
I was a big Jeff Gordon fan growing up, and then obviously Jimmy was super dominant.
Jimmy Johnson makes history.
Let's go into JJ's. Lydia and Genevieve's footprints.
Yeah, a lot of history, a lot of Hall of Famers, a lot of wins.
Hendrick's, you know, not just certainly the winningest team in NASCAR history, but man, he's done a lot for the sport.
Rolling. Speed.
Mr. H, take one, Mark.
Okay, let's deal with Rick Hendrick, the businessman, for a minute. Describe your business philosophy for us.
You know, I have a basic philosophy. I want a good franchise run by good people. Charleston, with Norman at the helm, I think we're going to be much better off. That's similar to our racing philosophy, too. We want aggressive people that are willing to work the extra hours, be open-minded enough to say, the way we're going to win is a team effort.
I think back to when I started, you know, it was the most shoestring operation you've ever seen. But I love to build something together, so the culture is, we've got one idea, we'll all work toward it. That wasn't very easy in the beginning. It took about 40 years to get that done.
You seem to be the kind of person that likes a challenge.
I really do. Yeah, nothing motivates me any more than someone telling me I can't do it.
If you go into something with a negative attitude, guess what the results are going to be? They're going to be negative. That's the one thing about Rick Hendrick. He is a positive thinking person. And Rick, you know, had this knack of hiring the right people. He'd promise you nothing, but give you everything.
Rick Hendrick just understood the game. He knew there were always going to be people who could short-circuit the ride, right? Maybe get you there a little bit quicker based upon experience and knowledge. And so Rick went after the very best.
Remember the name, Jeff Gordon, winner of the inaugural Brickyard 400.
When you look at drivers, a lot of drivers have talent, but they don't know how to race. And Jeff was very smart in the car, and I just had so much confidence in him that we could make it work.
He knows what makes you tick, right? He knows how to read people like I've never seen. We were at Charlotte going to qualify, and we had maybe a shot at the pole, and he's like, all right, if you win the pole, I'm going to have a boat show up, you know, at your house and put it on your dock on Monday. I was like, okay, boom, pole, right? He has this way of recognizing the things that motivate you and then seeing how you do. You either sink or swim.
Gordon works to the inside of Earnhardt, and he passes him and takes the lead.
It's almost like Rick sees these qualities in somebody and go, oh, that person can be a great crew chief. Oh, that person can be a great driver. Oh, that person can be a great engine builder. And Rick said, Jeff wants you to be the crew chief. And I said, well, I don't really want to be the crew chief. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough experience. He said, well, that's the only job that we've got for you. He had so much confidence in me. It gave me the confidence to do it. And if he hadn't have done that, I wonder sometimes where I would have really ended up.
It is a culture-based organization. 600-ish people employed at Hendrick Motorsports. The result that we give on Sunday has a direct impact on their families and their lives. And I've always had a big sense of responsibility there. But Mr. Hendrick, he would always tell me, it's not life-threatening. You know, go, do your best, put your best foot forward, and we'll be okay.
A lot of people think I'm a car dealer and I like racing, so I just decided to go out and buy a team or build a team. That's not true. At a very young age, I was involved in racing with my dad. So it was the love for racing that I said, hey, why don't I try to make a living doing what I love to do?
Ricky Hendrick's helmet, this is super cool. Ricky just had this style. He loved speed and he loved racing, so much like his dad.
When Ricky started driving, he was never the kid that just did it because he was Mr. Hendrick's son, and they gave him the ride. He really did put a lot of work into it.
Ricky winning the inaugural truck race in Kansas was the most special race for us today.
Here he comes down.
Hell yeah! Woo! Great job, Ricky. Great job, guys. That is awesome.
My favorite was seeing Mr. and Mrs. Hendrick, the pride. I will never forget the look on their faces.
Ricky Hendrick with his mom and dad in the pits scores his first NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series victory.
Racing ran through his veins. He got to do what he wanted to do, and then he stepped out of it at his time. He had an eye for talent. He discovered Jimmy Johnson. Ricky said, hey, he's going to be a champion for Hendrick Motorsports.
The reason Jeff and Rick knew so much about me was that Ricky had been in both of their ears singing my praises.
We're trying to act like we're drivers, you know? All
right. We were friends, and it still warms my heart just thinking about Ricky and the friendship we had and how much of an influence he had on my professional career and ultimately my life.
Jimmy Johnson off turn 4. He's going to win his 13th start.
This was an exciting time at Hendrick Motorsports. Jeff and Jimmy are dominating. And then Martinsville happens. That morning of that race, there was a Hendrick plane that was going to fly up with members of the family, important members of the team, and Ricky.
Didn't know anything other than what was happening within the race, and there was an epic battle between Jimmy and myself.
Jimmy Johnson picks up his 6th win of 2004.
Take the checkered flag and expect to do donuts, but Chad quickly tells me, hey man, NASCAR's telling us not to celebrate. At that point, I knew something was up. Something bad had happened.
The FAA reported they lost contact with a Hendrick Motorsports airplane inbound for Martinsville earlier today.
They told us that the plane had gone down and there were no survivors.
It was the most devastating thing that could ever happen. You lose your son and your brother and your nieces and all the folks who were on that plane. They had given their all to help build that place, and we just couldn't let everybody down.
Everyone wondered what was next. Rick Hendrick realized how important moving forward was, not just for everyone in the room, but for the people whose lives had been lost.
It really does influence me every single day of my life. If Mr. and Mrs. Hendrick can overcome all the loss that they had and keep giving back, giving us this opportunity, if they can get through it, then I owe it to them to work that hard. And I know, with Ricky too. Like, I want him to be like, yeah, Emma, that was my nickname. Like, I want them to know. It means a lot.
It was so emotional. I mean, there was only 5 days before we're at the track again. You know, there was this profound moment of honoring those that we lost.
Come on, bring it home. Jimmy Johnson will win and pay honor to his Hendrick Motorsport brethren here today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And let me remember you all the way.
Dealing with the loss that we had and trying to get back to the racetrack and do what it is that Mr. Hendrick loves the most, and that's racing. And it was hard, but we did it for him.
Just talked to Rick on the phone. He said, put my hat on backwards for little Ricky.
You know, we did it. The company did it. We all needed each other so much that week. Amazing people can do amazing things.
Jimmy Johnson is the 2006 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series champion.
Most drivers, if they become champions, pretty much want to be the alpha dog of the team. And the crew chief that's been with them a long time, he's won it like it used to be.
Jimmy and I started to butt heads.
We were fighting a lot, you know, just acting like kids.
And I talked to Chad, and he said, I don't know, I think I need to have another driver. And Jimmy said, I don't know, I don't think I want to put up with Chad anymore.
I consider what happened then to maybe be one of the greatest exercises in leadership communication of all time.
I brought him in, and I had a gallon of milk and a plate of cookies on a Mickey Mouse plate. And I set the plate on the table, and I said, guys, we're going to have some milk and cookies, and then we're going to have time out.
At that point, Jimmy and I took a pretty big, deep breath. We looked at each other and said, okay, I guess this is pretty serious. We better dig into what's going on.
Because Rick put it in that context and held us to it, we finally did have a laugh, and then we finally did open up and hashed it out.
If we don't have that meeting with the milk and the cookies, there's no way that we have the success that Jimmy and I end up having throughout our career.
7-time champion, 5 in a row. Just unbelievable. You'll never tear a good organization down from the outside. It'll always happen from the inside. So if you keep everybody motivated and working together, communicating, then you'll be successful.
After this historic run, I mean, obviously Rick's biggest question was who's going to fill these seats, right? Who's going to take those teams that he was building and continue to make them special?
The hardest thing for any organization is to accept that you're going to have to take a step backwards to go forward. And if you look at Hendrick Motorsports over the last 10 or 12 years, there were a couple down years statistically. And I think that's Rick and the leadership group understanding that we're going to pause and we're going to have this new wave of young talent. William Byron, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman. Now look at where they are.
Chase Elliott, the 2020 champion.
You know, when you seek talent, you got to be either ready to put them in place and watch them grow, or you're going to have to let somebody else scoop them up, and then you'll never get an opportunity.
He just has this knack of getting the most out of people, and everyone wants to do well for him, and everyone wants to make him proud, and it's extremely contagious.
William Byron is going to win at Texas.
When I talked to Mr. H, it was just the first time that I felt special as a driver. He made me feel like he was going to take care of me every step of the way, and he's always lived up to his word.
Kyle Larson is your 2021 NASCAR Cup Series champion.
He just makes you feel really comfortable, and he's probably the most genuine person on this planet.
The way he pushes people to be better from top to bottom, everybody wants to win races for Mr. Hendrick.
300 wins for the Hendrick organization.
Multiple drivers, multiple car designs, multiple crew chiefs, formats. None of that has changed the Hendrick way. It is built on the blood, sweat, and tears of every man and woman who comes to work there.
Hendrick running 1, 2, 3. William Byron leading.
to celebrate our 40th anniversary at Martinsville, to have all your employees there. You couldn't script it any better.
William Byron, he goes to the lead. Chase Elliott to second.
Come on, boys. Come on, boys.
Into 4 for the final time. It's William Byron.
Up off of turn number 4. Checkered flag is waving.
William Byron comes to the flag and wins. 1-2-3 finish for Hendrick Motorsports.
Yes! Yes! Woo! Yeah!
Oh, yeah, boys. Hell yeah. 40th anniversary.
1, 2, 3, woo! Yes!
I wanted so bad to be there, but I couldn't get my leg to cooperate. But to see it on TV and everybody having a good time, I almost think I got to see more of it.
Buddy, did it, man. 1, 2, 3. It's never been done before.
Can you believe that?
Never been
Amazing.
done.
Never.
Those folks up there had the time of their life.
There's a sea of Hendrick Motorsports, and that's exactly what Mr. H wanted to put out there. He wanted to have everybody there celebrating the 40 years of our organization and make a statement that we're far from done, that this was just the first 40.
Boss, oh my God, congrats. 1, 2, 3. You tell Linda we got it.
It was a day in history for our company that I'll never forget.
It is one of the great franchises in all of sports.
There's a family here, and once you're in the family forever.
Rick Hendrick changed my life.
He personally has created the gold standard.
It takes great leaders to empower team members to feel that they are the fabric of a company.
Watching the 40th anniversary unfold, I have thought back to all of the turns and twists along the way. We're not done yet, so I think we got a lot more championships and a lot more races to win.